Oh, I tell you what, postman's a knocking again. I don't know how long my wife's going to believe me. I don't know where it's coming from, baby. It just shows up. That excuse is only going to go for so long. She's finally going to say, you must be ordering this stuff. These are good packages, but they are messy. Make sure there's nothing left up in there. No, I'm going to have to, ooh-wee. Excuse me while I clean some of this up. So we have a plate, which that should be familiar, or look familiar anyway. And this should look familiar too. So I got another quadricopter controller. Why did I get another quadricopter controller? Now I think I should be able to pop these up in here, and each one of these kind of go in like this, and this provides a vibration dampening plate to mount this controller to. So again, why did I get another controller? Let's see, this one has got the jumpers here. If you'll remember on the drone build, and I'm not sure if it's actually to that point on the drone build or not, but there was some solder pads that needed to be jumped out back here. And I removed this jumper because this jumper, this JP1 jumper right here, connected this output side of the board to the input or controller side of the board. And I needed to pull power directly into this PM port through the power module connected to the battery. And this right here allows you to pull power in from the drone's wiring. And so you can't have this jumper in place whenever you have the power coming into the PM connector right here and power coming in through the drone motors. It's a deadhead. So it's like plugging a wire, a U-shaped wire into an outlet, holding it in your hand. Something's gonna pop, and it ain't gonna be pretty. So that jumper pulling it disconnects these two halves of the board. Now, if you're going to power it from this side, that's great. Go ahead and do that. But don't plug power into this right here and leave that jumper in place. And so the full power of the board will be powered strictly through this right here. Now, if present, I prefer to use this power connector. I got some other drone frames in that the battery connector does not have a power module built into it. And so this will have to be powered through the drone motors, but that's a hexcopter. And so I'll end up using 6 of these outputs for the motors alone. And that's kind of why I got this right here. And then you have jumpers over here, which I think is that first jumper right there, that if you have it on there, you're using the internal GPS. If you pull that jumper, then you have to plug an external GPS into here, and and down here to power that external GPS. But that only works when you bridge these connector pads in the back. Otherwise, you have to plug it into GPS and I2C. And then you have to bridge the pads to enable I2C on the back of the board. So I'll tell you what, video's not really long right now, so let me go ahead and grab a screwdriver and pop that open, and let's look at the back of this plate and see if the pads are the same on the back. And you can go to my drone build videos, and I don't remember exactly which one it is, but it's going to be up there in the 8 or 9 part that you'll see where I'm bridging these connections. And I do a close-up of the board to show the stuff, and I may be able to do the same thing here. And one thing that is interesting about that board, which I'm fixing to see if it's the same here, are these screws. They're not all the same. One corner has a long machine screw in it, and the rest of them have like wood screws. Okay, so this one's different. All four of them are actually heavy threaded screws. And so the board looks to be very much the same thing as the other one. So it was, let me get a printer. I got a printer. It was this pad and this pad that had to be solder bridged. And I had to pull this jumper, which wasn't present on that controller, and pull this jumper out. And that allowed me to plug the GPS, the external GPS, into this port and this port, which enables the external GPS, disables the internal GPS, and I had to put power here on the PM from the battery power module. And in this portion right here, I also had a red wire connected on one of the motors to bring power into this half of the board. And so I'm still working on that build. It's not a complete build yet, but it's very close. And so I'm really kind of looking forward to learning as much as I can on that build. And we will be building a hexcopter next, most likely. I do have a drone that came in that was 4G enabled, and so basically you can control it anywhere in the world. You can fire up a cell phone and get a signal, and so that's like a I don't know what you want to call it, but it's like snooper duper. I think they may have plugged the jumper into that. I don't really know what that is for. I'm leaving it there for now. But this right here, and I may be wrong, but I don't think I am, because the other controller I have is a APM 2.8. This one should be an APM 2.5, judging by the structure. It's just a little bit different. Go to the drone build and you can find that later video that it shows some close-ups of the actual APM, and I think these connections are straight out the ends right here, straight out the ends, and this is squared off, and you still have the telemetry, but and I'd have to look at that one again. I don't remember exactly all the details on it, but these right here apparently will work just fine as long as you manually download the firmware and install the firmware on a manual versus going in there and installing the manual, the firmware through the software. So anyway, that's just a little quick run through on this right here. This is going to be a part to a upcoming drone build, and I've got a vibration plate to add to one of the drone builds, and it'll probably just stay with this controller as is, and that way while it's vibrating it doesn't cause any hard movements of that. I don't know how that helps or hinders a drone, to be honest, but I can see that it would make a huge difference with the accelerometer, which I would assume there's an accelerometer built into this. Otherwise, how can it be a flight controller? So anyway, that is some stuff that is coming up. I appreciate you. I enjoy spending time with you. And hey, look, stick around. We got a lot of stuff coming. I'll see you next time. Okay, mailman likes me. We got some printer filament. Or not. Some damage to the box. Our post office in the good old US of A cannot deliver a package without destroying it to some extent. I never will understand that. But then again, I don't work for the post office. If you do, please help us all understand a little bit why the post office is so destructive on packages. My personal thoughts is it don't care, but I could be wrong. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, this is cool. And I believe they had multiples in stock, and I'm kind of thinking about potentially maybe getting another. So that's got looks like a diode. I could be wrong, but that looks like a diode in there. And so I don't know the purpose of that. Let's see, what does that say? Temperature sensor. Okay, that's a temperature sensor. Awesome. That's nice. And this right here, barometer. This right here is a barometer. And what a barometer is, I don't know. I don't know what a barometer is. I have no idea. This apparently has been installed on something at some time, at some point, somewhere. But let's see, you've got fuel, GPS, barometer, voltage, temperature 2, which I would say temperature 2 would be something you'd probably want to plug into your battery or hook some sensor on your battery to monitor the temperature of your battery, because that would be important information in my opinion. And this looks like a power output. This is white and unlabeled. Center is positive, right is negative, and maybe some kind of signal. I don't know. But that's where you would supply power to this device. I guess it would be, yeah, so you'd have power over here and your signal would be supplied on that pin right there with all of this right here. So it's probably some kind of I2C device. RPM, ACC, and data. So this is a hub. This is a hub to allow you to connect multiple things for your drone into this hub, connecting it into the drone versus using up a bunch of ports on your flight controller. You can take this and connect it to your I2C port, and you've got a hub here that will connect to all the rest of the stuff. And so this is going to be an adventure, I do believe, in getting this set up, configured, and working. But this, when I saw it, that was like, you know what? There's got to be people out there that just wants to load a drone up with all kind of stuff, make a weather machine out of it, and just fly it on up there and see what it says. And so if there are, then this would be something that would help in doing that. And so I'm going to get one and figure out how to use it and make videos and teach somebody else what I mess up so that they don't mess the same things up and they can get it going quicker. So that's my thought process. But it's FrSky Sensor Hub Telemetry RX. So should be able to add telemetry using this right here. So I have a module on the FrSky. So this is probably the other part of that particular controller, where I have that JR module that goes in the back and it supports telemetry. This is probably the other part of that module that supports it. So I get more of these, I can use it on more drones with that other module and still get telemetry information. Let's see what details it says. 2.4 gigahertz RC receiver. Tested and 100% working, great condition. Pictures are of the actual receiver. So there you have it. This right here, I'm not 100% sure on how to use it, but I'm thinking that we will all learn something in me figuring out how to use it, because you're going to be involved and we're going to figure out how to do this together. So with that said, I don't know where this would plug in. I've got to do some more research on this. I know what a temperature sensor is. I don't know what a barometer is. I'm not a weather person, but I think that's got something to do with atmosphere or something of that somewhat, or something like that. Walking and chewing bubble gum, I can't do it. You know that. You know I can't do that. I don't know what you would plug into to figure out fuel. I guess that would be on maybe a gas-powered airplane or something. GPS is, of course, GPS. Voltage, I could figure getting some kind of a adapter off of the battery to plug in there to monitor what the voltage level is. So this right here, I would say I would need to do some research to find out what the voltage limit is, so I don't plug too big of a S cell battery into it. Version 2, apparently. And let's see, RPM, I don't know how you would get that off of a drone. Yeah, I guess it would be the RPMs of the propellers. I don't know how you would find that. And I guess data would be something you would plug into the flight controller using the telemetry port. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to figuring this out, getting it incorporated into a project with a drone. But I got to get some flying drones first. So I have to finish that drone project to get that drone flying, do some experimenting and stuff with it. We got a lot more projects coming up with drones, a lot of stuff that we're going to do. So I believe that we are going to, and I haven't stopped knife videos or anything else. I'm staying into all of it. It's just as I move along from stuff, the bait casting and stuff is still going to happen. But it's just going to be, it's going to get to a point that I rotate through a series of stuff and a video of a little bit of everything comes out. So anyway, as always, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I enjoy spending time with you. And I thank you for being here. And I will see you next time. Your time is very important to me, and I thank you for spending it here with me. Thanks, and God bless.